you're to Year 10 and Year 9 and Year 11, this is the last of the Gamma Chapter 11 videos. And in this one we're going to look at algebraic fractions where we've got different denominators. So I've just picked out 5 questions and they go from the easiest ones up to the harder ones. Just a few little things that you've got to watch out for here, but the principle's the same as with number fractions, which is that we have to find a common denominator. So with all of these, you'll notice that we've got numbers in the denominators, and that's where we're going to leave it at this stage. Okay, so the process of finding the denominator is the same as it was back in Year 9. So for example, for this first one here, the common denominator is going to be 12. And then we just ask 4 what's a 12? 4 times 3. And we do the same thing to the a. So a times 3 will give me 3a. 3 what's a 12? 3 4's a 12. So we have to multiply the a by 4 and we get 4a. So that's a big mess, so we're going to get rid of all of this because the last step is always to check for like terms and any simplification. Okay, so for the first one we get 7a over 12. And I can't simplify that any further, so that's my final answer. Right, I'm going to do the rest of them down here. If you want to pause the video and try them yourself first, go for it, but make sure you're checking against the final answers. Okay, so number 2 is this one. And my common denominator is going to be 35. Right, so again, what do I do to 7 to get 35? Times by 5. This becomes 25a. I need to times this a by 7. So I end up with 25a, take away 7a, 18a over 35. Okay, number 3. Exactly the same idea, but we've got x squared terms this time. So my common denominator is 63. 7 9s are 63, so we have to multiply x squared by 9. 9x squared. 9 7s are 63, so we have to times this by 7. So now hopefully you can see why getting all of those basic algebra skills down pat was really, really important, because we have to kind of just know exactly what the next step is. So the last step here is to collect up my like terms. So I get negative 5x squared, right, 9x squared minus 14x squared divided by 63. Okay, the last two are slightly trickier. We end up having to expand and then simplify. So we've got 3x minus 2 divided by 4 plus x plus 3 over 5. Now it helps to think about these as having an invisible bracket around them, right? And that's what this divided sign does. It's dividing everything on the top by everything on the bottom. So we need a common denominator, and the common denominator is going to be 20. And we do what we did before. 4 what's are 20? 4 5s are 20. So we have to multiply this by 5. And we're going to do it quite slowly. So it's going to be 5 times all of that. And you can see we're going to have to expand that out and then simplify. Next one. 5 what's are 20? 5 4s are 20. We have to multiply 4. We have to multiply x plus 3 by 4. Okay, let's get rid of all the wiggly lines. Now, step 2 is to expand the numerators. 15x minus 10, and we can write it as one fraction now, plus 4x plus 12. Cleaning that up gives me 19x plus 2 divided by 20. And there's nothing more I can do there. We should check though that there's no common factor in either the numerator or the denominator, because sometimes we will be able to simplify these further. Right, I've just got one last one that I really want you to watch, because it's got a little fishhook in it that sometimes even Year 12s and beyond can muck up. I'd like you not to do that. Now what makes this one slightly trickier is that we have to watch out for the subtraction in here. Okay, so we start off as usual, we get our common denominator, and it's going to be 30. 10 what's are 30? 14 threes. So we take this, we put our brackets in and we make them visible, and we times x minus 2 by 3. Okay, so we're doing equivalent fractions, just slightly harder the ones than when we started fractions. 3 watts of 30, 3 tens. Put our brackets around that, and notice that this is a minus sign, right? So we've got a minus sign here. So it's going to be minus 10 times x plus 4. Now where people run into trouble is that they forget that this minus sign is going to carry right through when I expand here. Okay, so we'll magically erase some of that. Let's see what we get. Well, we can make it over 30 now because we've got the same denominator. So we're going to have 3x minus 6 minus 10x. This negative 10 gets multiplied by the plus 4. So it really helps to think about the sign staying with the number next to it. Okay, so it's going to be minus 10x minus 40. And now we collect up like terms. And we get negative 7x minus 46 divided by 30. We need to take a look here to see if there's a common factor between 7 and 46. And there's not. So we're finished. So that's our final answer. Okay, so the exercise that does these is 1107. And when you do it, I want you to make sure that you do plenty of ones like number 4 and 5, because they're definitely more challenging than the rest. Thanks for watching. I'll do some more videos tomorrow.